So as we look forward to the playoffs against France, we have here talking to Paul O'Hare from the Irish Daily Mirror. Paul, what do you think? France, we got the draw we wanted, didn't we?
I don't think it's the worst draw in the world. Like, they're obviously the huge superpower, that one of the top names in the world, but Trapattoni says he doesn't fear teams. I don't think we particularly have to fear France. They're an exceptional team, they've great players, but they're not the force that they were of old that got to the World Cup finals last year. Yeah, they have great strikers, and they're going to play with a ferocious amount of pace, and that's probably the main worry that Ireland will have, is dealing with the pace. I can't imagine Ireland dictating either game, home or away. I'd say it's going to be a game sort of containing on the back foot, trying to contain the likes of Henry, Benzema, Malouda, all these sort of pace players. I just see Ireland basically on the back foot for the whole game. It'll probably come down to set pieces. As boring as that is, it probably will be a game that's decided on set pieces. We are a team that's now difficult to beat, which is a strength that we can carry into the game, but I just don't see us carving open France and containing France, us on the back foot for most of the game. I think is basically going to be trying to stifle the team, because they're just such quick players, and I think that's the main threat that Ireland have to sort of consider coming into that game, is the pace at which they play.
They do have great players, but the manager has been kind of held into question. I know he got France to the final of the World Cup the last time, but he doesn't seem to be a very popular man. He's
not popular with the players anyway. Like they don't come out and sort of publicly say it, but I think the players were sort of as surprised as perhaps the journalists and the French fans were that Dominic sort of keeps getting contract extensions. He's certainly a bit of a loose cannon, but he seems to thrive on that type of sort of a siege mentality, sort of the whole world's out to get him type thing. Last time, 2004, we had 30,000 Irish fans over there, and Dominic was probably the first person to come out when the tickets were announced, ticket allocations were announced for this game, urging French people to snap them up as quickly as possible to stop the Irish army from travelling over. And that really seems to be sort of a huge concern of his, that Irish fans are going to descend on the Stade de France again. It doesn't look to be that way, 8,500 people, but Dominic's he's a contrary figure. He's just a law unto himself, really, and that's something that we can try and tap into in an indirect sort of way.
What do you think of the squad that Giovanni Trapattoni has picked for the match?
No surprises really, apart from Stephen Reid obviously not being in. Steve Finnan, who has been back playing for Portsmouth recently. Kind of strange in a way that Finnan isn't playing. Whether he would have actually started the game, you just don't know, because Trapp seems to have settled on his back four now with Sean St. Ledger partnering Richard Dunn. Kilbane seems solid enough at left back in Trapattoni's mind anyway, and O'Shea at right back. Stephen Reid, obviously Allardyce wasn't too happy with the comments that Trapp sort of apparently made, perhaps lost in translation a little bit, but I still think there's merit in having Stephen Reid in the squad. Liam Miller is sort of seen as the backup option in centre midfield if Gibson isn't fit. But I still think 60-70% Stephen Reid would be a better option than Miller. Like, Miller had his opportunity against Montenegro. In my eyes, he didn't really take it. He didn't get on the ball. It was a game, just a good bit of space in midfield for Ireland to probe and penetrate. Miller just didn't get on the ball enough. Reid is the type of player, he's strong, athletic. Trapattoni does like him, as was seen in the first two games. And I think it's a tough call to leave him out. Trapattoni seems, he seems adamant he's done the right thing, that he says it's 90 minutes against France at home, 90 minutes away, huge international football, it's not a club game. He said it's all well and good Reid, playing in an easy game like a Carling Cup game, but I still think he should have been in the squad.
And if we got a 0-0 at home in the first match, would you take that now?
Absolutely, yeah. Trapattoni wants to keep a clean sheet at home. I think that's the way forward. Bring it over to France, 0-0, sort of frustrate them for the best part of at least the first half and early into the second half, and get that French crowd in their back, and put Dominic under more pressure. It's a tough game. Like everyone makes a big deal about sort of the likes of Henry, Benzema, and Anelka, but France have a couple of other decent players. Yorkov, he's a 23-year-old attacking midfielder. 6'1", 6'2", big strapping lad, French player of the year. He had been at AC Milan, didn't work out from there, primarily because Kaká was his direct competition for a place, so he came back to France. But he's a seriously good player. He'll probably play. If they play a lone striker in Henry, they'll have three behind him, and he'll be leading that sort of three-man attack behind Henry. He's a very, very good player, as I said, French player of the year. and he's been sort of tagged as the new Zinedine Zidane, and there's been plenty of French players who've been sort of hit with that tag in the past, and Zidane sort of, you know, shrugs his shoulders, whatever. But it's interesting that Zidane actually recently admitted that he probably is the player he sees most like him. So I think Jurkov could actually be the key player in the two games rather than the big household names.
There you heard it first. Yuri Jurkov, France's Glenn Whelan. Thanks very much, Paulo here from the Irish Daily Mirror.